Hey guys, Caleb here with DSLR Video Shooter, and today we're talking about a 4K vlogging and YouTube setup for under 600 bucks. So let's jump straight into the setup, and then I'll talk about settings and uses for this rig, which is awesome and super duper lightweight. So for the camera, we're going to be using the Panasonic G7. There are several reasons I'm choosing this camera. You can get smaller point and shoots that shoot 4K, but you're gonna have one lens that you're stuck with and not a very large sensor. So this camera has a micro four thirds sensor, shoots 4K, great, awesome little camera. The other reason I love it is the weight. This camera with the kit lens and a battery is actually lighter than an A6500 with a kit lens and a battery, which is perfect for stuff like this. It's just super duper lightweight, and if you're going to be doing this for long periods of time, it is no problem at all. The other reason I love this camera, and it's great for this setup, is the cost. You get the camera and the kit lens for 500 bucks or less. So it's really, really affordable. One of the best budget cameras right now. Speaking of the kit lens, it is a 14 to 42 millimeters. So at 14 millimeters, you're going to have plenty of, of a wide angle to be able to capture yourself, and you'll be able to punch in a little bit for other footage as well. And you could always upgrade lenses down the road. There's only 3 other items to this entire setup. First, we have the microphone. This is the Rode VideoMicro, costs $60. You could get something as low as 20, 30 bucks, but this one is going to give you the best bang for the buck when it comes to quality. There's no batteries involved at all, and it just works great. It also comes with this dead kitten or dead cat, which is pretty high quality, and it's going to really help when you're outdoors with any sort of wind. So it's going to completely kill that nasty wind ruffle noise, and it's just going to be perfect for vlogging. Underneath the camera, I have a little tripod, tabletop tripod, has these metal legs. It's completely metal, so it's really well made. So you can open up the legs, set the entire thing down on a table, or like I do a lot of the time, close up the legs, and you've got a great little pistol grip that's going to work awesome for either vlogging or turning the camera around, and you have another kind of grip that you can use and use it kind of like a pistol grip. It also has a ball head, which is really slick and allows you to change, the orientation of the camera and the angle at which you're holding the tripod, and it's around 20 bucks. The last piece of this kit is this little tiny fader ND filter. So I have it right here. This is a 46 millimeter, so it's designed specifically for lenses with the same thread as the kit lens. It'll also work with another lens we'll talk about here in a second. But it's a fader ND, so you'll be able to spin it and adjust your exposure very easily and smoothly, which is really, really important when you're moving between different brightnesses and lighting environments. So it's going to work really well. It costs around $16, and it's from the brand Fatka, which is probably the best budget fader that you're going to find online. And with that, we have a complete setup. So now what I'm going to do is film for the rest of the video using this setup, or we're going to talk about some settings and actually shoot some video with this. So now let's go over some settings for this camera and setup. Let me set the camera down here on this table, and we'll jump right in, starting with 4K. Personally, I almost always shoot at 24 frames per second because 30 frames per second looks like a soap opera, and 60 frames per second is even worse. The one thing to keep in mind is 4K is going to crop in just slightly on the G7. So if you want the widest shot possible, go ahead and switch over to 1080. This is what 1080p looks like, whereas here we have 4K. It's going to be a little tighter, but we'll have a higher data rate and obviously so much more resolution. Once you've done that, you're going to want to turn continuous AF on, quick AF on, and on the back of the camera, change the focus switch to AFC, which stands for autofocus continuous. Next, we need to change our focus area. There's several on the camera. Personally, I have found one spot AF to work best. So if you select that, you'll be able to set the little box in the center of the frame, make it a little larger, and you're good to go for vlogging stuff like this. All right, so now we are walking around, checking out the audio quality. Should be pretty decent, and I've got my fader, so if things get too bright, I can simply darken up the image or brighten it back up and get my settings just so for vlogging. Works pretty well, and as you can see, we got a little bit of blurriness behind us, which adds a lot to the shot. Otherwise, you're just gonna have everything in focus, and that's where that fader really comes in handy and gets some great quality video out of the G7. There are 3 final little accessories you might consider if you want to kind of improve on this setup. The first is with a different lens. This is the Panasonic 14mm f2.5, so you're going to get more shallow depth of field with this thing, and look how tiny and cute this is. It's going to be perfect for lightweight setups. So here's what the kit lens that comes with the camera looks like at 14mm f3.5, and now you're looking at the 14mm f2.5 at 2.5. Another little item you might consider is one of these little chargers. They're USB, so they're really lightweight. You can plug it into your laptop, your car, whatever, and I love having these for each of my cameras because I can travel really lightweight and only have this little baby charger. So there you have it, guys, a 4K vlogging and YouTube setup for under 600 bucks. Check the description for all the different parts that I've mentioned. If you have any questions at all, let me know. Otherwise, you can watch fresh videos here at DSLR Video Shooter every single week. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.